There is a weight you have been carrying for so long, that you have forgotten it is even there. You feel it in the mornings, before you have even opened your eyes. That quiet heaviness that settles in before the day has even begun. You feel it in the middle of a perfectly ordinary afternoon, when something small, a song, a smell, a single passing thought, pulls you back to a moment that ended years ago. And here is the truth nobody around you is saying out loud. That weight is not the past itself. The past is already gone. That weight is your grip on it. And until you learn to release that grip, you will keep dragging yesterday into every tomorrow you ever try to build.
Welcome to True Stoic Journal, the path to inner control.
I want you to understand something before we go any further. This is not a conversation about forgetting. This is not about pretending the pain was not real. This is not about telling yourself that the people who hurt you were not wrong, or that the years you lost did not actually slip away while you were not paying attention. The pain was real. The loss was real. The betrayal cut exactly as deep as it felt like it did. But here is what the greatest minds in human history understood. Minds that were tested by war, by exile, by slavery, by the kind of suffering most of us will never face in our comfortable modern lives. They understood that you can acknowledge every single thing that happened to you, fully, honestly, without flinching, and still choose, with everything you have, to stop letting it run your life. That choice is what Stoicism is actually about. Not numbness. Not cold detachment. Not pretending you are made of stone. But the fierce, disciplined, deeply courageous decision to stop handing your present to a past that has already finished speaking. Seneca wrote something that hits like a blade. He said that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Read that again slowly. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The event, whatever it was, ended. It is finished. It exists now only as memory. But the mind, your mind, my mind, every human mind that has ever lived, the mind can keep that event alive indefinitely. It can replay it. It can rehearse it. It can examine it from every possible angle, searching, endlessly and desperately searching, for a different ending that will never come. And while you are searching in the past for an ending that cannot be changed, your actual life, the one happening right now, in this hour, in this day, keeps moving forward without you. This is the trap. And most people never even see the bars. Think about someone you know. Maybe it is even you. Someone who is still angry about something that happened years ago. The argument is already over. The relationship already ended. The opportunity has already passed. Yet the anger is still fresh. The wound is still open. The body still tightens when the memory surfaces, the same way it tightened the very first time, as if no time has passed at all. Epictetus was born a slave. He had every possible reason to be consumed by bitterness. Every reason to look at the world with hatred. Every reason to give up entirely. And yet he said this. It is not events that disturb people. It is their judgments about events that disturb them. That is one of the most powerful sentences ever written about the human mind. Because what Epictetus is telling you is that the event does not have permanent power over you. Your interpretation of the event does. And your interpretation is something you can change. The betrayal happened. That is a fact. But the story you are still telling yourself about what that betrayal means, what it says about your worth, what it proves about people, what it reveals about your future, that story is not a fact. That story is a choice. And you are making that choice again right now, today, every single time you return to that memory and press play. Here is what most people never realize about the weight they carry. They do not carry it because they are weak. They carry it because familiarity feels like safety. The wound is painful, yes. But it is a known pain. It has a shape. It has a texture. It fits perfectly into a space in the mind that has been carved out exactly for it over months and years of repetition. And the human mind, more than almost anything else, craves what is familiar, even when what is familiar is slowly destroying it. Marcus Aurelius understood this better than almost any leader in history. Sitting inside a palace, surrounded by power, waging wars, managing an empire, while simultaneously waging a far more difficult war inside his own mind. He wrote in the pages of a journal he never intended anyone else to read that the mind must be guarded, that it must be directed, that it must be chosen deliberately, every single morning, before the world has a chance to choose it for you. He did not write this as philosophy for the classroom. He wrote it as survival, as a daily instruction to himself, as a reminder that he had to choose, again and again, to keep his eyes forward. And so do you. Now here is where I want to go deeper with you. Because understanding this is one thing. Actually living it is something else entirely. There is a reason letting go feels impossible for so many people. And it is not because they are not trying hard enough. It is because they are trying to let go of something they are still secretly holding onto for protection. The old wound has become armor. The memory of the betrayal keeps them from trusting too quickly. The memory of the failure keeps them from trying too boldly. The memory of the loss keeps them from loving too openly. And so the mind does something extraordinarily clever. It disguises the armor as wisdom. It tells you that you are simply being careful now. That you have learned from experience. That you are protecting yourself from future pain. And all of that sounds entirely reasonable, does it not? It sounds mature. It sounds responsible. But there is a difference between wisdom and imprisonment. Wisdom says, I learned from that experience, and now I move forward with better judgment. Imprisonment says, I will never fully move forward at all, because moving forward means risking pain, and I have decided I cannot survive more pain than I have already carried. Wisdom opens. Imprisonment closes. And the true Stoic is someone who has chosen, with full awareness of the cost, to remain open. Not naive. Not reckless. But open. Because they understand something that the imprisoned mind cannot see from inside its own walls. That is the same vulnerability that creates the possibility of being hurt again also creates the only possible doorway to everything that makes a human life worth living. Now, the Stoics also taught something that modern self-help rarely talks about. And it is this. Some things must be cut. Not released gently. Not gradually loosened. Cut. Some environments keep old versions of you breathing long past the time they should have been buried. There are people whose presence in your life is a constant invitation back into the person you are trying to stop being. There are habits so deeply woven into your daily rhythm that they have stopped feeling like choices and started feeling like an identity. Seneca was direct about this in a way that still feels uncomfortable today. He said to associate with people who are likely to improve you. Not comfort you. Not validate you. Not keep you company while you stay the same. Improve you. Because the company you keep determines, more than almost any other single factor, the atmosphere of your inner world. And if the people closest to you are feeding your resentment, your stagnation, your bitterness, your addiction to replaying what went wrong, then no amount of private discipline will be enough to overcome what is being poured into you from the outside every single day. Some doors need to close. Some circles need to shrink. Some relationships need to end. Not with drama. Not with cruelty. But with clarity. The Stoic who cannot cut what is poisoning them will always be fighting a losing battle against their own past, because the past will keep finding new faces to wear. Here is what becomes possible when you finally, Truly, stop looking back. Your attention becomes whole again. Right now, for most people, attention is split. One part is here, in this moment. Another part is back there, in the conversation from 3 years ago, in the relationship that ended, in their version of themselves. They cannot stop mourning. A divided mind cannot build anything. A divided mind cannot move with real force in any direction, because half of its energy is always bleeding backward. When that division finally heals, when the eyes are fully, completely forward, decisions become cleaner. Opportunities become visible that were always there but impossible to see because you were facing the wrong direction. Energy returns, because it is no longer leaking into memories that cannot be changed. Zeno of Citium said that well-being is built through small steps, but is no small thing. This is the part most people want to skip. They want the dramatic transformation. They want the single moment where everything changes at once. But the Stoic knows that real forward movement is built in repetition. In the walk taken this morning, when the body did not want to move. In the journal opened tonight when the mind wanted to scroll instead. In the promise kept to yourself when no one else was watching, and there was no external pressure to keep it. Every small act of forward-facing discipline is a vote for the person you are becoming instead of the person you were. And those votes accumulate. Quietly. Steadily. Without announcement. The accumulated weight of daily forward choices begins to change the shape of a life. Marcus Aurelius wrote these words in the solitude of a military tent, surrounded by death and uncertainty and the full crushing weight of running the most powerful empire on earth. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Not comfort. Not certain. Not a guarantee that nothing will hurt again. Strength. The strength that comes from knowing you have already survived your worst days and chosen, against every instinct to collapse, to keep building anyway. The strength that comes from looking at the ruins of what you once were and deciding, with complete clarity and zero self-pity, that they were necessary. That they taught you something you could not have learned any other way. And that you are done living inside them. The wound is real. The scar will remain. The lesson belongs to you now, permanently. But the wound does not get to be the whole story. The past does not get to write the rest of your life. That pen belongs to the choices you make today. In this moment. In this hour. With whatever is still in front of you. And what is still in front of you is more than you currently believe. If this reached something inside you today, do not let it stop here. Share this with someone who is still carrying weight they were never meant to carry forever. Like this video, because this kind of depth deserves to reach further than it will without your help. And subscribe to True Stoic Journal, because what comes next will go even deeper into the discipline of building a life that is genuinely worth living, and it will be waiting in your feed very soon. Remember this, the moment you stop turning around to look at the ruins, you will discover that your hands have been free this entire time. Free to build something. Free to create something. Free to become someone that the version of you still living inside yesterday's pain cannot even imagine yet. Stop looking back. Everything worth having is still ahead.